Have you ever tried layering puff vinyl right on top of the glitter vinyl and wondered why it doesn't puff up right? You are not alone. The secret is simple, and it actually starts with the design, not the vinyl. And it makes your puff rise higher, stay smoother, and look absolutely stunning next to the sparkle. Hello, everyone. Jennifer Maker here. It's a beautiful day to make a puff vinyl and glitter t-shirt that shines, shimmers, and puffs up in all the right places. In this puff vinyl tutorial, you'll see exactly why picking the right design for the material gives you a smoother, loftier puff and that awesome glitter outline all in one design. And if you'd like to try it yourself, I'll show you where to get my free glitter and puff t-shirt designs so you can make your own sparkly, three-dimensional masterpiece at home. I have my glitter and puff vinyl layers already cut out and weeded. If you need help cutting your files, I'll show you exactly how to do that later in this video. But before we press, remember that secret I said I'd share about what makes my designs perfect for puff vinyl? Look closely and you'll see that the vinyls get really close together, but they don't actually overlap or even touch. After lots of testing, I found that the puff vinyl really needs to go directly on the fabric to get its highest, smoothest height. So when you're picking or making a design for this material, don't just layer the vinyls. Make holes in the glitter vinyl for the puff to fill in. I can show you how to do that in a special workshop, so keep watching to get the details. But for now, let's get to the pressing. First, make sure your work area is steady and stable. Puff vinyl performs best with lots of pressure, so a solid surface is key. Preheat your easy press to 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 149 Celsius and set your timer for 10 seconds. Remember these settings. We'll use them 3 times today. Lay your shirt flat and give it a quick pass with a lint roller to pick up any stray threads. Then line up the sleeves, fold your shirt in half vertically, and press right along the fold for 10 seconds. This quick pre-press does 3 things. It removes moisture that can ruin your transfer, preheats the fabric, and gives us a perfect center line for alignment. Now for my secret weapon to get perfect puff height, a 1-inch thick wooden cutting board. Slide the board inside your shirt under the area where your design will be. The smooth, solid surface will help us achieve the pressure needed for the best puff height. Don't skip this step, even if you're using a different style like a Cricut auto press. Remove the pressing mat first, then insert the board to get that extra height for enough pressure. Smooth out the fabric while leaving the center crease straight, and we're ready for the first layer, the glitter background. This anchors our design and gives the puff vinyl space to expand beautifully later on. Hold the glitter vinyl sticky side down and gently fold the carrier sheet lightly from side to side to find the design's halfway point. Crease the carrier sheet lightly at the top and bottom along the halfway point, just enough to mark the center without creasing the vinyl itself. If you're using one of my free t-shirt rulers, line it up under the collar so it sits perfectly centered. Place the glitter layer vinyl side down so the top of the text rests just below the ruler and the creases on the carrier sheet line up with the crease on the shirt. Then remove the t-shirt ruler. If you're not using one of my t-shirt rulers, just measure about 2 to 3 inches below the collar with a regular ruler. That's a great placement for most adult shirts. Pat the empty carrier sheet sections down to lightly stick it in place. Usually, I prefer to use white, uncoated butcher paper when heat pressing vinyl. But I found through testing that parchment paper distributes heat more evenly, giving puff vinyl a smoother, glossier finish. You can use butcher paper for the glitter vinyl if you like, but I'll use parchment paper for both to make it easier. Cover the design with a clean piece of protective paper that is larger than the design and the heat press. Since the glitter vinyl is pressed 3 times during assembly, we're going to use short presses to prevent it from burning. So check that your easy press is back up to 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 149 degrees Celsius, and the timer is set for 10 seconds. Cover the entire area of your design with the easy press and hold it in place. Press straight down with firm, even pressure on both sides for 10 seconds. Lift the easy press up and remove the protective paper. Let the carrier sheet sit until it's cool to the touch, but not completely cold. Hold the shirt in place with one hand and roll the carrier sheet back on itself with the other. Gently peel it away from your anchoring hand in a smooth motion to uncover the vinyl held in place. If the vinyl starts to come up, pat it down, replace the carrier sheet and parchment paper, and repress for just a few seconds. Let it cool down, then use the same motion to try removing the carrier sheet again. This layer is just tacked down, not fully adhered, so it's okay if small edges lift, they'll finish bonding later. And that's it. Your glitter layer is down and ready for the fun part. Adding the puff. If you haven't used puff vinyl before, it can be kind of tricky to get it just right. So feel free to grab extra puff vinyl and some old shirts to practice on before pressing the real thing. Place the puff vinyl with the sticky side down and the text readable. Then align it so each letter sits neatly inside the open spaces of your glitter layer without touching or overlapping. This step is what makes the magic happen. It lets the puff vinyl press directly onto the fabric, which is how we get that smooth, even rise later on. Take a moment to make sure everything is centered and has an even glitter outline. Cover your project with parchment paper again, and make sure your time and temperature settings are the same as before. Cover your design with the easy press, and really lean in with your body weight to get that strong, even pressure the puff vinyl needs. Then lift the press straight up and let the vinyl and carrier sheet cool in place for about 5 minutes. The vinyl won't be puffy just yet. It needs to cool completely before the final activation press. When the board, shirt, and vinyl are all completely cool, use the same motion as before to carefully roll the carrier sheet from the shirt. If any vinyl edges lift, gently pat them back in place. Don't apply more heat, because that can activate the puff too soon and flatten your results. Now it's time for the magic moment, our final puff press. Cover the entire design with parchment paper one last time, and keep the same time and temperature on your press. Cover the design completely with the easy press, and press it in place with firm, even pressure for 10 seconds. When the time is up, lift away the press and remove the parchment paper to reveal your beautifully puffed vinyl. You now have a fun and shiny puff vinyl t-shirt to show off your style. Are you ready to make your own puff vinyl shirt? Head over to my free resource library at jennifermaker.com/790 to grab the free designs. Click Get a Password if you need one or enter the library. Then search for design number 790 and click on the project file to download everything you need to get started. Inside the zip folder, you'll find 3 uplifting designs. Be the plot twist, craft your own story, and make your own magic. There are SVG files for Cricut users, DXF files for other cutters, and PDF files for hand cutting. Not sure how to upload SVG files? Just go to jennifermaker.com/SVGS and I'll walk you through it step by step. Here's how the story SVG looks on my Design Space canvas. To preview how it will look on a t-shirt, click the templates icon and then select t-shirt. In the t-shirt layout guide, pick your shirt style and size. I'll choose adult large. Move the design into the dashed square chest area of the t-shirt template to preview how it will look on your shirt. To resize your design, keep the lock icon closed so it stays in proportion. Then drag a corner handle to make it fit neatly inside the dashed area. The puff vinyl will expand slightly when pressed, so give it a little extra space and don't go too small. If you'd like to change the color of either layer to match the vinyl you'll use, ungroup the design. Select the layer you want to adjust, then use the color box to choose a new option. Once everything looks good, your project is ready to cut. Make sure the correct machine is selected in the top right. Click Make. On the Prepare screen, make sure the correct material size is selected for your mats. I'll keep both mats at 12 by 12 inches so the entire grid is available. Since we're using iron-on vinyl, toggle the mirror setting on for both mats. Click on Mat 1 so it loads first on the next page, then click Continue. On the Make screen, click Browse All Materials to set the base material for your first mat. I use the everyday iron-on material setting for both glitter vinyl and puff vinyl. Change the pressure to more for cleaner cuts. Use a paper trimmer or scissors to trim your vinyl to cover the design area shown on the screen, plus an inch or so of buffer. Now find the carrier sheet side of your vinyl. If you're not sure which side it is, use a weeding tool to scratch a corner on each side. The colored side you can lift away is the vinyl, while the clear side is the carrier sheet. Place your iron-on vinyl with the carrier sheet face down on a green standard grip machine mat so it covers the design area on your screen. The puff vinyl in my material list is a different size, so make sure it matches the design area if you're not trimming it down. Use a brayer to make sure it's fully adhered. Check that your premium fine point blade is clean and in the clamp. Press the flashing load button to load the prepared mat into your Cricut. Press the flashing middle button to begin cutting. When it has finished cutting, don't unload the mat right away. Gently lift a corner of the vinyl that isn't part of your design to make sure the cuts went all the way through the material but not the carrier sheet. If your cuts aren't complete, press the middle button again to make a second pass of cuts in the same spots. If you have any issues with your cuts, go to jennifermaker.com/cleanercuts for my best tips and tricks. When the cuts are complete, unload the mat and keep the vinyl decal on the mat for easier weeding. Use your weeding tool to remove the larger pieces of excess vinyl around the design. Then carefully lift the excess vinyl away from the intricate parts of the design to keep delicate pieces in place. If a delicate design element starts lifting, carefully anchor it to the carrier sheet with a rounded section of the weeding tool. Then lift the excess around the tool with your other hand or tweezers. Once you're done, make sure no elements have shifted and gently nudge them back in place if needed. Flip the mat over onto your work surface and roll it back to release the vinyl's carrier sheet. Then load your material for the other mat and follow the same steps to load, cut, and weed the vinyl. Lay both vinyl decals face up on a clean surface to make sure the correct pieces have been removed. Once your layers are cut and weeded, just follow the pressing steps we covered earlier. Glitter first, puff second, cool completely, and finish with that final magic press. Isn't that puff amazing? This cutout design setup really shows how small changes can make a huge difference. When the puff vinyl presses directly onto the fabric, it can fully expand and stay even. No bubbling, no flat spots, just that smooth, high puff we all love. You can even see the differences inside the shirt. The puff vinyl latches onto the fabric, so it has room to grow. Now, if you're ready to take your skills even further, come join me inside Advance with Jennifer Maker, where I show you how to create your own custom puff vinyl text designs using my special cutout technique. I'll teach you everything you need to know to create beautiful word art, including how to choose typefaces that puff well, how to use special characters for extra flourish, and how to create an outline that really makes your words pop. You can learn more at jennifermaker.com/advance. And are you in need of a Cricut cutting machine for your best vinyl cuts yet? I do a free giveaway every month. Head on over to jennifermaker.com/Cricut giveaway for your chance to win. And if you've ever had vinyl that peeled, cracked, or just wouldn't stick, I have something that I think might make your crafting so much easier. It's my HTV cookbook, your complete guide to mastering heat transfer vinyl. Inside, you'll find my tested temperature, time, and pressure recipes for more than 100 vinyl projects. You'll always know exactly what settings to use, whether you're pressing cotton, polyester, or even wood. It's like having a cheat sheet for perfect iron-on projects every single time, with no guesswork or wasted vinyl. Get your copy of HTV Cookbook at jennifermaker.com/HTV Cookbook and start pressing with confidence today. And I would love to see your finished puff vinyl t-shirts. Be sure to join us at jennifermaker.com/Cricut Crafters and share a photo in our group. And that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.